Thank you so much for joining us today for the Pastor's Potluck Podcast. Here on the Pastor's Potluck, it's similar to a normal potluck where you might get something that you want and there may be something that you just want to pass up altogether. And that's okay. There's something here for everybody. Our goal here is to encourage you and maybe in the process entertain you. If you're ready, let's dig in. It is almost the end of football season. Ooh. And I don't know what to do with myself. I know your team's in the Super Bowl. Start cheering
on some baseball teams. You don't like baseball?
I like baseball. There's 180 games in the stinking season. Mm-hmm. That's too much. It's too much baseball.
I love it.
No.
But I do love me some football too.
Yeah. Yeah, your team's in the Super Bowl.
It is. Woohoo! Let's go Chiefs.
Yep.
And I'm not a bandwagoner either.
No, you spent a lot of time there.
Yes. I lived in Kansas City for almost 8 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not a Chiefs fan because of that girl.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Even though you are a Taylor Swift fan, right? You don't care? You're
not like
indifferent?
Not like my brother. I'm indifferent.
Yeah.
I can take her or leave her.
Yeah, I got you. So that's the way I feel like with my sports team, because like my favorite team, and I wear the only hats I ever wear are Texas A&M hats, but I was born and raised in Louisiana, and we moved to Texas whenever I was 14, and it was just something that. Like I've always been interested in sports, and I was like, whenever I was young, I was a really big basketball fan, and I was very fortunate to experience and grow up and be a part of like the greatest era in basketball, and that's whenever Michael Jordan was playing. Mm-hmm. And so I was a huge Chicago Bulls fan because at the time Louisiana didn't have a sports team, and so whenever you're 7 and you want to watch sports and you want to pick a team, you're probably going to pick the one that's got like the
well-known person.
Yes. Yeah. The most famous basketball.
I think everybody was a Chicago Bulls fan there for a while because of Michael Jordan. So yeah. We liked the Chicago Bulls and we liked the Charlotte Hornets. That's what we watched, the Charlotte Hornets and the Chicago Bulls a lot growing up.
I don't even remember anybody that was on the Charlotte Hornets except for he was on the Supersonics. I was thinking of Sean Kemp, but
I don't remember who played for him.
But I remember everybody having those starter jackets.
Yes, I think Scott had the Charlotte Hornets starter jacket.
No,
we both got starter jackets for Christmas one year, and I want to say his was a Hornets one. Mine was like a Marshall. Like mine was Marshall. Because that's what I wanted. Like I wanted Marshall. I wanted the Marshall one because at that point I liked Marshall University, and so I want to say his was like the Charlotte Hornets or something like that. I could be wrong, but
that was a great era of basketball. But all that to say that like I understand whenever you are transplanted out of one area that you would consider obviously your home. But then you live a long period of your life in a different area of the country. It's real easy to find a team and start rooting for them and pulling for them. And now that since we have both moved away from those respective areas, we're still those fans.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And everybody, Well, see, my team stinks, so nobody really cares. But the Chiefs are going up against history, winning 3 in a row. So
we'll see.
What's funny is I've already seen the conversation.
Oh yes, I already know where you're going with this.
Of Mahomes, if they do win, of him surpassing Tom Brady as the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can answer that question until you see the rest of Mahomes' career.
Yeah.
Because Tom Brady did it with the Patriots 6 times and then did it with the Buccaneers for the 7th.
Yeah.
So it wasn't.
This would be
4?
4.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I would agree. I don't think you can necessarily make that decision. Plus, Tom Brady played till he was in his 40s?
Yeah.
And Mahomes isn't even out of his 30s yet. I don't even think he's in his 30s yet. So
Really?
like, I don't think he is. Like, he's young. I'm about to look it up right now.
I would say he's probably 30, 31 at most.
How old is he? Is 29 years old.
Oh, jeez.
so yeah, he's a baby still. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Health willing, he still has at least 7 or 8
Yeah.
years. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they can pull it off, you know, I'll be excited for them. I'll be excited for you and Miss B, and you know, it's just one of those things. Like, I'm not indifferent.
Cheryl ask me the other day if she could borrow a shirt because she said she didn't have any she doesn't have any football gear. And she's like, I may need to borrow a shirt. I was like, I got you. I was like, I told Megan, I said, do you need one too? Because I can give you one too. Like, I got you guys. I got this.
You know, it's funny is I was talking to somebody about this because this Sunday is Jersey Sunday. And, you know, you just wear a jersey or a shirt of your favorite sports team for this Sunday. And last year, it was only like me and one other person that wore basketball jerseys.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I think I'm going to wear a basketball jersey again this year, but I'll wear my Michael Jordan one that I have.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't put it on since it's probably been 20 years, if not longer. But I still have the original one that I got whenever I was younger. It may not even fit me, to be honest with you.
If not, maybe one of your kids could wear it. See?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
somewhere.
Well,
do you want to let them?
No. It's one of those things where, like, it's crazy. We all save and collect things, just the random stuff. And so I've got more Michael Jordan memorabilia than I realized that I did.
Really?
Yeah. And so I've got like magazines, I've got newspaper clippings. Whenever we moved to San Antonio, I got to see the Bulls play the Spurs twice. So I have ticket stubs.
That's cool though. Scott has a Dennis Rodman jersey somewhere from when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's somewhere in storage, like with my mom and dad, because I've seen it. But like, it's like the smallest thing ever.
Dude, you want to hear a funny story? So this is kind of along the lines of it, but like growing up, kids, we all have like different like things that we get into as we're growing up because we're trying to figure out life and whatnot. So growing up in the church, we used to, like in kids' church and stuff, so they used to have like all kinds of puppets and whatnot.
Right.
And so my sister is adopted, right? But we were still in contact with her grandparents because they were just salt of the earth people. And her grandmother was an extraordinary seamstress, and she can sew and create things. And so because of kids' church and all the other stuff, I told my mom, I said, I guess for my birthday or for something or for Christmas or whatever one year, I said, can you ask Nanny, which is my sister's grandmother, that was her name that we called her. I said, can you see if she can make me a puppet? Because like, I don't know, I was just so drawn to puppets for some reason. And so they ended up making a puppet for me, and they put a Bulls jersey on it, but it didn't have a number, but he looked like Tony Kukoc. And so I said, this is my puppet Tony. So I named him Tony.
Do you still have this puppet?
No, I don't.
That would have been even better.
If it randomly shows up, like I would die laughing. But
your mom is going to be listening and looking for this puppet now.
Oh, I'm sure they've gone through all the. I don't know that they have anything else of mine. Like whenever you move away, your mom always has something
funny.
of yours.
Oh yeah.
I think I have all of my stuff. In fact, it's getting to the point right now where my dad, they just visited a couple weeks ago, And he was like, "Hey, I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I don't want anymore. Do you want it?" So he's like
passing it on now.
Yeah. So because I know that they're getting to a point to where like they have a whole bunch of stuff, and so it's like, okay, do we try to downsize? Just try to reduce some clutter here and there. And so my dad he was like, "Hey, I got this type of tool. Do you need this?" Or I got this, even the other day, he was like, he's like, "I got these car jack stands. You jack your car up and you put this thing underneath the axle." He's like, "Do you want some?" I was like, "I don't have any, so I'll take them." He was like, "Great, I'll bring them to you." And then like he got here and he was like, "Dude, I forgot those car jack stands." He's like, "I'm gonna mail them to you." So yeah, it was funny.
There you go.
Yeah, but Super Bowl Sunday for all of those listening, and if you're in the Charleston area, kickoff time's at 5-ish, 5:30.
Kickoff's at like 7. The game
7?
starts at 7. Yeah. Pre-game stuff starts at like 6:30-ish.
Yeah, I know what time I'm supposed to be here, so I guess I don't know whenever.
No, the game doesn't start till like 7. So.
I know I'm supposed to be here at 4.
Yes.
So till 7. Cool. Come hang out with us at Southridge Church at 7 for that. But so we've got a fun episode today. It's literally a whole bunch of random questions. Some I wrote, some I asked ChatGPT to help me out with. But I just wanted to cut up today. We've had, I think the last maybe 9-10 weeks, we've just had some really, really, really good conversation around fasting, about the holidays and all of that. But I wanted to just cut up a little bit today. I'm always in the mood to laugh and kind of hope that for the people that don't have teams in the Super Bowl, that this lifts their spirits.
There you go.
That's so mean.
Go teams.
So the first question I wanted to ask you is,
oh no.
I know, if you were arrested with no explanation, what would your friends and family assume you did?
Run my mouth. Probably I have ran my mouth to someone.
Do you think it's that big of a problem?
Yeah, sometimes it is. Or my face has gotten me in trouble.
Yeah.
I have subtitles.
Yeah,
my
but they
face
wouldn't arrest
speaks
you for your face.
You just, no, but I would get into it with somebody. That's what would happen. I have to call and be like, "Hey, so, yeah."
I do see that. See that, like,
actually. So this is funny. So
especially
Monday,
for like the people you care about.
Yes,
like if somebody's jacking around with them.
Yeah, you mess with my niece or nephew, I'm gonna go head to head with you right now. I'm gonna say that right now. But Monday, so this is funny because Monday I was headed to do this. I was headed to speak Monday at this recovery place here in Charleston. And so, like, I was headed down there to speak, and I had to stop at Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
So I run into Hobby Lobby, and as I'm coming out, this is what I'm talking about. My mouth sometimes goes before my brain, okay? And I'm coming out, and there is a buggy smashed into the front of my car.
Oh, that's the worst.
The lady that was parked beside me, instead of, and it was windy. It was really windy.
Yeah.
Instead of just, like, taking the buggy back inside to Hobby Lobby, she leaves it, and I see her push it there, and then it slams into the front of my car, and I'm on the phone.
Did it slam? Or
oh yeah, I mean, it was, because it was windy, so it flies into the front of my car, and I'm looking, and I'm on the phone with Keith, and I said, "Are you kidding me?" And he's like, "What?" I said, "This lady just didn't even put her buggy back, and her buggy just hit my stinking car. Like, what the heck is wrong with you?" And I look over, and her window is down, so she's heard me say this whole thing, and I'm like, "Oh gosh," like, and I said, "Well, that was fun. Her window was down." I said, "So there's that." So that's what I'm talking about. I sometimes just, and I was like, "Geez, Louise, just put the buggy back."
What shirt were you wearing that day?
Chiefs gear. I was wearing a Kansas City Chiefs shirt.
People laugh at me because I typically wear like Southridge shirts. I don't have one on today, of course, but like, I find that's a good way to help keep my mouth in check. Because I have the same issue too. Like, I want to tell people that they're idiots, and I always have kids in the car, and so I have to watch my mouth too. And I think it's just, I'm scared of whenever all of my kids finally leave the house. Dude.
No, so here's but for real though, my mouth has always gotten me in trouble though.
Yeah.
Always, since I was younger, has always gotten me in trouble. And so like, even this past baseball season, like baseball, softball season, Olivia played softball for the first time this year.
Yeah.
And so there was this kid on the opposite team, and she was hateful. She was so hateful. And she is rounding third coming home. And as she's running in to home plate, she looks at our girls and throws up L signs and was like, losers, losers, losers. And I about lost it. And I looked at my mom and I said, I'm about to lose it on a third grader, fourth grader. I said, that is so disrespectful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are you going to? And so my mouth in that moment was like, I'm about to lay the smack down on a fourth grader because they're making fun of my niece's team. And so, but it's so my mouth sometimes can
get you in trouble.
Yeah. And I said, is her coach not going to do anything about that? Like, I was mad. I was so mad, which her coach did get onto her for it. But
Yeah.
I just sometimes say things, and sometimes it just comes out before I even realize it.
Yeah.
And I need to be better about that.
Yeah. I wanted to circle around because you said something interesting describing this story. Have you always called it a shopping buggy?
It's a buggy.
It's a cart.
No, it's a buggy. In West Virginia, they're called buggies.
Where does the word buggy come from, though?
I don't know. Growing up here, it's always been a buggy. Now, when I went to school in Ohio, it was a shopping cart.
Yeah.
And when I would call it a buggy, they would look at me and say, where are the Amish? Legit, that's what my friends would ask me.
Yeah.
Where are the Amish? I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, the Amish ride in a buggy. And I'm like, it's a shopping cart and a buggy. They're the same things. I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's always been a buggy.
Yeah, I say shopping cart.
No, it's always been a buggy.
I think I accidentally one day let it slip. I was like, hey, Nolan, go grab a buggy. And he was like, where are those at? Just kind of looked at me like.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I'm from here, but I went to school in Ohio.
Yeah.
And so there was lots of things that I would get made fun of for. One of them being buggy. Another one would be how I said my I's and my Y's, because they're very twangy. I also lived in Virginia for the first 6 years of my life too.
Yeah.
So my I's and my Y's are very like,
Yeah.
but I was a communications major.
You sound like a banjo.
Yeah. And I was a communications major, and I
Yeah.
couldn't say I can say them now, but I couldn't say W. It was W. So QRSTUV WXYZ, you know? And so I was on the radio, so W, it was not W, because the radio that I was on was WNZR, and I'd say WNZR, and they're like, no, Jessica, it's W. And I'm like, that's what I said. And they're like, no, you didn't. I'm like, yes, I did. So it was always, no, try it with me again, W. And I'm like, W. And they're like, no, W. I'm like, W. So
W.
It took forever, but I finally said it was 90.9 FM WNZR. So I got to that point. And then the other one was, it wasn't Ohio, it was Ohio. And so I'm always like, that's what I said. And they're like, no, you didn't. I was like, I don't understand. I don't hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then I would order, like, we would have something, like we would go through like the line in the cafeteria, and there'd be like a pie or something like that. And I'd be like, oh, I want that pie. And they're like, you want what? And I'm like, the pie. And they're like, what is pie? And I'm like, I do not sound like that.
Yeah, you do.
And then sometimes I realize that I do. But my I's and my Y's are really, really, really
It's
thick.
more soft than like
Yeah.
the hard I.
Yeah.
It's the way that you were saying it just now. If you spelled it out, it was PAH. I want some pie.
I want some pie. But I don't. My cousins live in Tennessee, and they everything is like, so like she wants ice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you want what? And she's like, can I get a Coke with some ice in it? Can I get some fries? And I'm like, I don't sound that bad. Like, I don't sound like that. So,
Yeah, there are a couple of people here where you're just like, can you repeat that for me one more time, please?
but I do. My I's and my Y's have always been bad.
Yeah.
I never, even on the radio, I never could get it. like our radio station manager, her name's Marcy, and Marcy would be like, Jess, honey. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm so sorry. I try so hard and I just can't do it.
Yeah. I think if I were to be arrested, and I think a lot of this is probably bad of me to think, but I think a lot of people would probably assume that I was arrested for something that I used to struggle with in the past, like alcohol or drugs. They'll be, oh, Jared went off the deep end. We knew it was going to happen finally, which, I'm not going to touch that stuff ever again. But I would assume that a lot of people would. Yeah. That's where their mind would track. They're like, oh, it finally caught up to him. Like he did it. He finally got busted. Because, I was addicted to drinking for God knows how long and drugs for several years. And I was very fortunate enough to never get arrested.
Yeah.
I've had some close calls, but.
Well, speaking of arrested, I have to go to court at the end of this month. I'm not getting arrested. That's what mine would be for stinking speeding. I have a lead foot. And I got pulled over the other day. And I really don't think I was speeding. I'm being dead serious. I was at a stoplight, like in South Charleston, and I was at the stoplight and I had just turned, and like the light had just turned green. So I'm turning to get onto the main road, and he pulled me over immediately and said I was going 55 and a 40. And I don't know how that was possible because I had just taken off from the red light, but I really think he pulled me over because my tags were dead on my car and I didn't realize it. So anyways, I have to go to court and I am not okay with it. I said, so can I just go and pay this? And he goes, no, you have to show up. And I said, I have to go to court? He was like, yeah. I said,
you're like, I got work to do.
I kind of want to cry about this right now. Yeah. So I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, no fun. What's the weirdest thing you believed as a kid that turned out to be completely false?
The weirdest thing I believed as a kid that turned out to be okay, so this is actually funny. This is not anything. This was a Bayhaw family thing. Okay. So we lived up Mink Shoals area, and there was a Chinese restaurant that sat right there on Bigley Avenue. It was called China Garden. And we would go there almost every Saturday, or we would go Sunday after church. Yeah. And when we would go...
Is it still there?
The building is still there, but I don't know if they're still opened. And if they are, it's not called the same thing. But you used to be able to dine in there. I don't even know if you can go. I know that they used to do takeout still up until like 2 years ago, but I don't know if you can still go in there. But we would go there all the time, and my mom would always order egg rolls. I don't eat egg rolls, neither does Scott. And so mom would get the egg roll, and this is what she would tell us. She would look at us and she'd say, which end do you think the shrimp is in? Okay, we don't eat egg rolls, so we don't know that there's not shrimp in these egg rolls, okay? So we would pick, and she would pick an end to eat out of. And then every time she never got the shrimp. And we were like, what? How did you know that was the end that the shrimp wasn't in? Yeah. It wasn't until we were in our teen years that we found out that there's actually not shrimp in one end of the egg roll. We had no idea. Yeah. And she still thinks that that's the funniest thing ever. But we believed her. We believed that there was shrimp in one end, and she was just that good at figuring out which end of the egg roll to eat out of so that she didn't get the shrimp.
Yeah.
I know that's really random, but we did believe that for a very long time.
How old were you? Tell me the age again.
We didn't find this out until we were probably in high school, that there wasn't shrimp in egg rolls. Scott and I don't eat them. So we don't eat them at all. So we had no idea. It was yesterday. I found it out yesterday.
I was about to say, I'm just kidding. I'm still worried. No. I'm still, yeah. So high school. Yeah. So mid to late teens. Yeah. And you just thought your mom could pick out the best egg roll end?
Yes, we did. You can ask her.
Okay, so she would just cut off the end so she could eat it, or
she would just she would just pick up her egg roll and say, which end do you think the shrimp is in? And we would choose which one and that it was in, and then she would eat the opposite end. She would just take a bite out of it. Yeah. And then she would eat it, but we would never fully pay attention to like.
Did she like shrimp?
No, but we never fully paid attention to the fact that like she ate the whole thing. Like we didn't pay attention to that. We just paid attention to the fact that she didn't get the shrimp. And it never mattered. She could have picked either end and there wasn't going to be shrimp in it. I get it. So it never mattered, but we didn't know that. We had no idea. We were probably
You wouldn't have noticed the first time that she finished the egg roll after the first time?
We didn't notice. We never noticed.
And it took y'all years?
Yes.
I mean, y'all used to eat at this place once a week.
Yeah. It was a family tradition to figure out which end didn't have the shrimp in it. You can ask her about it. You can ask her about it. We might have been older than that. I am,
because I want to laugh with her.
Yeah. She still makes fun of us for it. And actually, when we still to this day, if we go to a Chinese restaurant as a family, she'll ask one of us, which one do you think the shrimp's in? I'm like, shut up. That's not funny anymore. She should start doing it with Scott's kids. It's not funny.
Start doing it with Scott's kids.
She should. Carry on the tradition. Make them think it.
Yeah. Because then, then,
so we believed it, though. For the longest time, we believed it.
Dude, it'll be like 30 years from now.
Yeah.
And just people get old and they pass away, and y'all be at the funeral, and then you break the news to Landon.
Guess what, guys? Mama never had shrimp in her egg rolls. You want to know why? Because there's not shrimp in the egg rolls.
Dude, that's so funny.
Your dad and I figured that out way later in life. Sorry, we're a little special. It's okay.
Oh my gosh. I don't know anything that I believed that was weird. And then I found out, I think for most of my life, I've tried to think about as logically as I can. Obviously, I would drink and drive. That's not very logically.
Do you remember people telling us that, like, because you grew up, I mean, we're only like, what, just a few months apart. I think. Yeah. You're 83 though, right?
Yeah.
83. I'm 84. So, but I remember growing up too, we would go to eat, like we would go to the pool and you had to wait 30 minutes before you could swim. Did you ever get told that? We were told that all the time.
Yeah.
Like you had to wait 30 minutes before you could swim. And I mean, that's just what we were told. So that's what we believed.
Yeah.
Or it was also illegal to turn the light on in the car. They told us that all the time too.
No.
When we were driving, we were told it was illegal to turn the light on in the car.
No, my dad always just said, I need you to turn that off. I can't see.
No, we were told it was illegal and we believed it. So whenever we turned the light on, we were like, can we turn it on real quick? And you'd turn it on and you'd hurry up and turn it back off.
I don't want to go to jail. I do remember a couple of times that my mom got pulled over for something like a ticket, to get a ticket for speeding, or I don't know what it was. But I do remember like my perception of police officers was always like, for some reason it was always negative, because I'm like, the only reason these guys are around is because they're going to take people to jail.
Yeah.
And so like, I think that's probably maybe something
misconception kind of thing.
Yeah, because I mean, it was short lived, because the first guy that I remember we got pulled over. We were in the station wagon that we had, and I remember him walking up, and I'm just losing. I'm losing it. And this is back whenever like 6-year-olds could ride in the front seat with no seat belt, and you're the only thing that prevented you from going through the windshield was mom's forearm. Yeah, just slapping you across the chest.
I still do that.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And he was just like, all right, you're good to go. And my mom was like, see, he wasn't so bad. And yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's just so weird, like how you come up like with these things that you believe in, and then as you get older, like they don't
match up.
Well, yeah, it just doesn't pan out with reality. Because, I mean, all the police officers I've ever met have been pretty nice people, but of course, at the same time, like I've been, I've gone out of my way to create conversation with them, and I wasn't doing something.
You weren't speeding.
That could be perceived as,
dang it,
illegal activity or whatever. So, alrighty. What's a talent you absolutely don't have, but you wish you did, no matter how ridiculous?
This one's not ridiculous, and it's I wish I would have stuck with it.
Yeah.
But playing the piano.
Yeah.
I took lessons when I was younger, and I regret not finishing them. I played for like 2 years, and then I stopped, and I don't remember any of it. So I wish that I do. I wish that I I wish that I did remember how to do it, because I think that that's just a talent that a lot of people don't have anymore.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have stuck with it. So it's not really a random craziness one, but I do wish I had that talent.
I wish I was more, I don't know. So Erica laughs at me because she always, a couple times whenever this has come up in conversation, she's like, you didn't play sports like I did. And I was like, I grew up and I played sports up until we moved to San Antonio. And then I tried out for the basketball team, and the coach said I wasn't good enough. And then he was the coach for my PE class, and we were playing basketball. And he goes, hey, how come you didn't try out for the basketball team? I said, I did. And he goes, oh, you did? What did I tell you? I said, you told me I wasn't good enough. But anyway, so I grew up playing sports. I was even like the most valuable player in my football team in 8th grade. And I wish I had a better talent, I guess, for playing sports, because I enjoyed it so much. Mm-hmm. I think it would have kept me out of like a lot of the riffraff that I got into whenever I got into high school. And I don't know. Of course, I for sure wouldn't be here. Erica wouldn't be my wife, and I wouldn't have the kids that I have. But, because like all roads lead to, where you're at right now. Right. So if like you change some of those scenarios, if it was more of like a practical thing, I wish I had a talent for being able to diagnose like mechanical issues and be able to fix them. Like I always have to Google stuff.
Yeah.
Like, how do you Google? My car sounds like rah, 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 rah. Like, speech to text doesn't do well to that.
Google Translate doesn't pick that auto car sounds up.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, it's squealing. Can you help me out with that, Google?
The lovely onomatopoeias.
No. Yeah.
I love that word.
So it's, I wish I was more like mechanically inclined, because there are people that are just like naturally gifted to see those things and be able to like, know how to take it apart and then put everything back together without extra screws left over.
I had a kid when I worked at Davis Child Shelter.
Yeah.
And my AC stopped working in my car. And I was like, daggone it. Like, I don't know what's going on. I mean, he was like 15.
Yeah.
And he's like, Miss Jessica, they said your air wasn't working in your car. And I was like, it's not. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I said, I don't know if it needs charged or what. I was like, I don't really know. And he's like, well, I can look at it. And I'm like, I'm not letting you look at my car. That's weird. You're 15. Like, no. He said, I can do it. I used to help my dad. He goes out and like within minutes is able to tell me that it has nothing to do with the charge. Like, it's not charged, that there's like a sensor was out and it was busted, and it was going to take like I was going to actually have to take it in and get it replaced. And it wasn't anything that he was going to be able to do. And I was like, how did you know that? Like, you're 15. How do you know that? He's like, I used to help my dad and my grandpa on cars all the time growing up. And he's like, so they just taught me a lot of this stuff. Sure enough, I took it in to Kia.
It turned out to be.
And Kia's like, oh, it's going to cost X, Y, and Z to get it fixed and blah, 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 blah. The sensor's gone and it's bad and you're going to need to get it replaced. And I was like, yep, not happening. Like, we're just going to go without for a while. So, but yeah, it was crazy. I'm like, how did you know that? Like, it makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Last question before we get into our mystery meat question. If you had to be trapped in a TV show for a month, which one would you choose and how would you survive?
Okay. I need a clarification on this question.
Okay.
Do you mean like a reality TV show or like just like a regular TV show?
I guess I don't know. It could be either or.
Okay, if it was a regular TV show, I would want to be on The Resident, because that is what I'm currently binge watching. It is a medical show, and I love it. And if it was a reality TV show, I would want to be on Big Brother. Nope, I lied. I'd want to be on The Amazing Race.
Yes.
Oh, I've always wanted to go on The Amazing Race.
Yeah, because you travel all over the world.
The Amazing Race or Big Brother. I would do fine on. I would get voted out of Big Brother though, because my mouth would get me in trouble.
Yep.
It would get me in trouble.
I was about to say, like, you wouldn't fare well.
No. Nope.
But
I would say The Amazing Race.
Month, so you probably would fare well.
So I would do The Amazing Race.
Yeah.
If it was a reality show, and then if it was like a TV show, I would choose The Resident.
Yeah.
And how would I survive? I don't
know.
Just win legs of the race. If I was on The Amazing Race, I would win.
Yeah.
And then if I was on The Resident, I would be a doctor. Duh.
Yeah. If I had to do a reality show, I guess I would just pick what I'm watching right now. And I feel like I've talked about this a lot, but I don't know if I've mentioned it here or I've mentioned it in like different meetings and stuff, but I've been watching and powering through Survivor.
Yeah.
And so I go through like little spells here and there. And so I picked it back up and I'm on season 23 and, I don't know, for some reason I like the idea. Maybe not just like the games, but I like the idea of getting out in the wilderness and having to build stuff and see if you can survive.
I think I would survive better on Survivor than Big Brother.
Yeah. No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I think I would.
You see that stuff they eat?
Yeah, but I would survive better on Survivor than I would Big Brother, because at least on Survivor, I can walk away. And in Big Brother, you're stuck in a house. I don't have any places to go.
You know, it'd be fun too is Master Chef.
Have you seen Next Level Chef? That one's fun too.
No, I haven't seen that one.
I like that one.
But Master Chef, you know, they just give you a random box of ingredients and they're like, come up with something delicious. Yep. You're like, all right, cool.
What's the one, the nailed it, where that would be mine. Like, I tried to make it look like a penguin. Like,
yeah. For like a real, like not a real, but just like a TV show. Gosh, I have no idea.
Andy Griffith. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, I'd probably fare well in that because I could be a dorky deputy.
There you go. You could be Barney Fife.
Yeah. And go fishing.
There you go.
I'm trying to think of like something fun though. Like what would be fun? Like if you were in a TV show.
Saved by the Bell.
No, I'm thinking like something like crazy. Like
Baywatch.
Slow running everywhere.
No, you could save people. You could run into the ocean and save people from shark attacks.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff.
Dude, what if you had to spend a month in the show American Gladiator?
I used to love that show.
That was a great show.
I liked that show a lot.
Dude, the best event was the assault where you like you get those cannons and you have to shoot the target.
Did you see like it's about American Gladiator? There was a documentary that came out like recently within the last probably year and a half that was about American Gladiator. And they brought back some of like the old gladiators and like they just told their story and stuff. It's really, really good. Like it's really good. I can't remember what it was on, but we used to love American Gladiator. And then on Nickelodeon, they had Guts.
Yes.
It was like kids American Gladiator.
Dude, you know what's funny is I was browsing through the internet one day and I went to eBay and I was just typing stuff and I was like, I wonder if they have anything from like these like reproductions or replicas of TV shows that I used to watch. So I typed up, you know, just went to eBay and just typed in replica Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Oh, I love that.
I typed in replica Double Dare and just see what came up. And I did Guts. They are selling on eBay one of the original pieces of the Aggro Crag trophy.
Oh my goodness, that's
you know
so
that
cool.
lime green trophy.
The lime green one, it lit up.
Looks like a mountain.
Yep.
I want it.
Cool.
I want it.
That's cool.
I will put
liked
it in my
those
office.
shows.
I will sit it on that bookshelf over there.
That would be pretty cool. But those shows were so fun, though.
I just want even just like a little small one.
Can you print one?
I don't have lime green. I probably could. I'd have to like learn. So right now I'm learning how to design stuff.
Yeah.
Because I can't. You have to use AutoCAD, which is like this crazy design app, and you have to build it from the ground up, and you have to tell where the 3D printer needs to go and whatnot. So I've just been grabbing a whole bunch of like free files and whatnot for me and Luke to print, but it should be pretty easy. But I don't want to have to paint it either.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And the appeal of it too was like it was like semi-transparent and it glowed.
That's so cool.
So
that's cool. No, I loved those shows though.
It was
Guts
great.
And like the American Gladiators, Double Dare, all that, like all of those. We watched those all the time. Like TGIF on Fridays. That was we loved TGIF.
Yeah.
Olivia just finished Full House. Like she just went through it and she goes, "Hey Jessa, I just finished Full House. That is like such a good show." And I was like, "Yeah, it was on every Friday night."
Yeah. Yeah, it was like Full House,
Family
Matters. They had I don't know if it was on
Sabrina.
Was the dinosaurs show on there?
That's on. I found it last night. It's on Disney Plus.
Oh,
I did
that's
not know
crazy.
that. It's on Disney Plus. Yeah. I tried to get Landon and Olivia last night to watch Tailspin, and I started because I loved Tailspin. I started it, and Olivia said, "Ew, this is lame."
Dude, yeah.
But they had like Darkwing Duck on there last night. It was like a whole line of just 90s shows, and Darkwing Duck was on there. Tailspin was on there.
What was the one where they had the duck that was like a robot and his legs turned into like a motorcycle, like a semi, just one circle, like one tire?
Wasn't that was Darkwing Duck?
His name was like Robo Duck.
Yeah, he was with Darkwing Duck.
Was he?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
That was, I don't know, that was my favorite.
Like Inspector Gadget, the cartoon was on that 90s stuff. It was all kinds of stuff last night. I was like, "Can we watch this?" And they were like, "No, that's lame." So we ended up watching like a 90s, it was like Big Green type movie, but it wasn't what I wanted.
What?
No.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, it was Darkwing Duck.
Yeah.
Oh, his name was Gizmo Duck.
Gizmo. Yeah.
Gizmo Duck. Look, there's this picture.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
We like Darkwing Duck.
It was good times.
It was.
It was the best of times. It was something.
You sing the songs that remind you of the bad times.
Yep. You got the reference.
I got you.
All right. It's time to get knocked down and get back up again with another mystery meat.
Sub thumping over there.
Chumbawamba. Hey, this question, what's a talent?
No way. Is it really a question you just already asked?
Let me see. No, it's different. It's worded differently.
Oh, I was like, no way.
What's a talent you wish you had, but you would probably use it in the most ridiculous way?
Talent I wished I had and when used in the most ridiculous way?
Could you imagine if I was like, if I could do like baton twirling and that's how I led worship?
Oh, jeez.
That's so stupid.
I don't know. That's I would use in a ridiculous way.
It's like somebody's funeral and you're like, you know what would really cheer up your spirits
harmonica.
right now?
Let me pull out my harmonica, my accordion.
How would you like a giraffe balloon animal?
Let me cheer you up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
People would be so mad. You're like, I just got the worst news of all. You're like, yeah, but I made you a dachshund balloon animal.
Yeah. There we go. Balloon animals. No,
Yeah.
I don't know. That one's hard. So, that I would use in a ridiculous way. I mean, I feel like
it's got to be absurd like that.
Yeah,
like
it would have to be.
You have to put yourself in like a crazy situation.
I'm gonna say the harmonica. I'm gonna say the harmonica for 100, please. And I would offer my services.
Yeah.
For weddings and birthdays the inauguration, whatever you needed. Like, Jessica's got this. She can play a really killer God Bless America on that harmonica.
Oh, that would be insane. If that's all you're known for is just playing a harmonica.
I got it. Like,
yeah. Like that would be like local legend type stuff. You know?
Could you imagine local legend Jessica Behal here to play the harmonica for the Star Spangled Banner at our opening game today?
I mean, it would be so obnoxious too because it's a harmonica, which I like harmonicas.
Better yet, a kazoo. How about that?
What if you're a world-renowned kazoo player?
A kazooist.
That's so stupid.
And you're welcome.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. I think I'm going with like balloon animals. I think that would be like real funny because I don't know. It's probably used in the most ridiculous way.
You could use that in a most ridiculous way, though.
Yeah.
You could even make it your balloon animal guitar and play the guitar that way. You could make all kinds of things like that. You could make a bed, say, like, you make a bed out of it. You could make pillows, make chairs.
That's such a waste of time, too.
But you're going to use it ridiculously, so.
I think I would want something a little bit more ridiculous.
Think about up. You could make it, use it to fly.
No, that's
use all kinds of things.
That's irrational, not ridiculous. Anyways, well, we hope that you enjoyed this episode of the Pastor's Potluck. Thank you for sticking around and cutting up with us for a little bit. Yeah, go Chiefs.
Woohoo!
I guess.
Yeah, go Chiefs.
All right. Y'all have a good weekend. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening in with us today. We really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram. You can also watch the video version of this on YouTube as well. All you have to do is search up the Pastor's Potluck Podcast. From all of us here, we want to say thank you, and we'll see you next week.